Hi everyone. So now let us go for the next topic in the first module of human resource management. So in the previous video we have even seen what are the contents of module 1 in the HRM. So module 1 is about introduction, and in the previous video we have been even dealt with a meaning, definition and nature of HRM. So in this video we are going to see about changing scope of HRM, that is scope of human resource management. So before going directly to the scope of HRM, so let me once again recall the meaning of human resource management. So human resource management is nothing but management of people, or HRM is a strategic approach to the acquisition, motivation, development and management of the organization's human resources. So it is a specialized field that attempts to develop programs, policies and activities to promote the satisfaction of the needs of both individual and organization needs, goods and objectives. So here it's nothing but it's a strategy. It is a strategy, or it's an approach for acquiring the human resource, for motivating the human resource, developing the human resources and managing the human resources. So what, for what purpose? So here they are going to manage the human resource, they are going to acquire, develop them, motivate them, so in order to direct them, so for achieving the common purpose of the organization, or for achieving the common goal or objective of an organization. That is what human resource management is about. So human resource management is nothing but it's a technique or a strategy which is used in managing the men, which is used in managing the employees of an organization. So let us go for the scope of human resource management. So what do you mean by scope in general? So before entering into the topic, so let us understand briefly about the topic heading itself. So scope, so here scope means what? The extent or the area what the subject matter something deals with. So it's nothing but the area or the coverage area of the subject matter where HRM is being used. So it is dealing with some area or some aspects, so where all it actively participates. So these are the 6 activities so which are performed by an HRM, that is human resource management, according to Dale Edor. So these are the 6 functional activities, or we can say the activities so where HRM consists of, so prominent or important some particular aspects according to Dale Edor. So number 1, setting general and specific management policy. So here they are going to set general and specific management policies. So here we everybody know that policies is nothing but norms or rules and regulations. So here HRM is actively participating in setting up or formulating general as well as specific management policies. For what purpose? For organizational relationships and establishing and maintaining a suitable organization for leading and cooperation. So now coming for the second one, that is grievance handling. So everybody are familiar about the word grievance. So we can be seeing that grievance cells are there. So in some institutions. So here, what do you mean by grievance handling? So grievance is nothing but a cause or a distress, or we can say it's a cause of a distress and unsatisfactory working conditions. So these are the problems. So these problems are being handled by even HRM. So HRM even actively participates in handling the problems or the causes which are being faced by an employees in the organization. And coming for the third one, that is staffing the organization. So staffing is nothing but where we are going to procure them, allocate them, or acquiring the people who are in the public, who are from the outside. We are going to acquire them. For what purpose? We are going to develop them, motivate them and manage them, and in to work out, or to we are going to guide them. For what purpose? To work out for the organizational benefits. So here staffing, so here HRM mainly, even we can say it's a main functional activity, main function of an HRM is staffing the organization, and even finding, getting and holding the prescribed types and the number of workers. So it is going to staff the members, organizing the members and finding the better members, allocating the best persons, means right persons for the right job, and getting them, holding them in a prescribed way, and finding the number of workers needed for a specific tasks. And then coming for the fourth one, aiding in self development of employees. So here, what do you mean by this aiding? Aiding means supporting. So HRM even involves or its activities even in supporting the self development of employees at all levels, providing opportunities for personal development and growth, as well as for acquiring requisite skills and experiences. So it is going to support in self development of employees in all the levels and giving them opportunities, motivating them, and giving better requisite skills by having the better experiences and developing and grow, making them to grow by giving some motivation, so them their performances will be uprised. Now coming for the fourth one, that is, so fourth one we are completed. Now coming for the fifth one, that is motivating. So what do you mean by motivating? So here HRM is even been involved in motivating the employees. How they do motivate? They are going to give some, providing some incentives and compensations, considerations for the work whatever they have performed. So and then giving some motivational speech. Motivationally they are going to develop their skills by giving some programs, so teaching them some programs, technological programs, so which will be as a training programs which will help them in motivating the workers for securing better performances. So these are the motivation, and wherein motivation this HRM is even involved by providing some incentives. Okay, it mainly provides some incentives, that is consideration and compensations are being given for their performances. And then coming for the last one, sixth one, reviewing and auditing manpower management in the organization. So here it is going to audit, means it is going to verify, evaluate the number of allocated persons, the way how the persons have been allocated. Accordingly they are being allocated where the right persons are performing the right tasks or not. They are going to audit and review, means evaluating the manpower management in the organizations. So how the manpowers are being allocated, whether they are working properly or not, so whether their performance is increased or not, whether their performance is uprised from previous degrees or not. So these are the six scope or the six areas according to Dale Elder where HRM actively participates in performing their management skills. So now coming for the next one, according to Indian Institute of Personnel Management, so we can see there are three aspects. So number one, personal aspect; number two, the welfare aspect; and the number three, industrial relations aspects. So personal management in India has described the scope of human resource management into the following aspects. So in the previous slide we have seen about Dale order. According to Dale order, these are the six scope or area where the HRM works out and deals, or to the extent it covers. So now according to the Indian Institute of Personnel Management, there are three aspects. Number one, the personal aspect. So this aspect of human resource management is concerned with manpower planning, like recruitment, selection and placement, induction, transfer, promotion, termination, training and development, layoffs, retrenchment, wage and salary administration, incentives, productivity, and etc. So now everybody are familiar about, I think, personal management, personal aspects. So the word personal, personal means employees. So we can say people employed in an organization are called as personnel. So aspect means a part. Okay, so personnel here means a people who are working as an employee in the organization, so people employed in an organization. So the personal aspect completely, it is going to give the concern about the manpower, means employees of the organization. They are going to plan about the manpower, how many resources are required, and then they are going to recruit them, and they are going to, this is nothing but recruitment process, how they are going to procure or acquire the persons, and selecting them, placing them in the right job, and then induction, transfer. So here induction is another one, transfer is another one. So induction means what? So induction is the process of introducing a new employee to the company's culture and processes with the aim of bringing them up to speed as quickly as possible, as well as making them feel socially comfortable and aware of their professional responsibilities. So induction is nothing but is a process of introducing a new employee to the company's culture and processes. So then developing them, giving them training, promoting them, terminating, you know that we're going to reject them. And then layoff. So what do you mean by layoff here? Layoff is nothing but temporary or permanent discharge of a worker And then retrenchment. So retrenchment means involuntary separation. So it is not voluntary, it is involuntary separation, because where company it is going to reduce its expenses. So involuntary separations of an employee due to replacement of labor by machines or closing the department. So where business, it is one of the business strategy to reduce companies expenses. And then wage and salary administration, incentives, productivity, etc. So here you can see the activities of personal aspects. So personal aspects is nothing but these are the aspects which are will completely related to the employees. And then coming to the second one, the welfare aspect. So what do I mean by welfare here? So welfare is concerned with working conditions and providing comforts or conveniences. So here welfare means it is about working conditions of an employee and how comfortably they work there, what are the conveniences given to them. So let us see, the welfare aspect is considered with working conditions and amenities. It's nothing but conveniences such as canteens, crutches, restrooms, lunch rooms, housing, transport, education, medical help, health and safety, washing facilities, recreations and cultural activities. So these are nothing but recreational or refreshment activities, or the conveniences which are being given to the employees to work to the organization. You can see it's one of the motivating factor and providing motivations for the employees to for the betterment or to achieve the organization's goal very efficiently and potentially. And next, coming to the third one, that is industrial relation aspects. So industrial relation aspects is concerned with the company's relations with the company's relations with the employees. And it includes union management relation, joint consultation, negotiating, collective bargaining, grievance handling, disciplinary actions, settlement of industrial disputes, etc. So here, what is this industrial relations? So industrial relations means the relationship between employers and employees in course of employment in the industrial organizations, and it is used to denote the collective relationship between management and the workers, and it is used to cover such aspects of industrial life as trade unionisms, collective bargainings, and workers participation in management disciplines and other industrial disputes. So it is mainly used to denote collective relationship between the management and the workers, or the relationship between the employer and the employees. So now we can once again recall. So according to Indian Institute of Personnel Management, so HRM scope is being widely been covered, or it has been categorized into three aspects: personal aspect, welfare aspect, and industrial relation aspect. Personal aspect is completely concerned about the employee and providing the completely about concern with the employees and providing the activities which are being concerned with the employees. And the welfare aspects about the employees convenience, employees comfortness. And the third one, industrial relation aspects, is nothing but the relationship between the employer and the employees. And we can continue the next contents or first module in the next video. Thank you for watching.